Hey guys, MC Mura here, and as you all know, we're all waiting for the Season 2 update. We're waiting for news, official patch notes, and all of that. So in the meantime, I figured I would do some investigation work, and today we're gonna talk about Punish Counter, right? Because Punish Counters is one of these mechanics that have fundamentally changed Street Fighter with Street Fighter 6. It's a new hit state that does a ton of work in this game. So as you know, for example, this is Chun-Li's medium punch, this very awkward elbow. This is her medium punch, right? Typically this move does 600 damage and leaves Chun-Li at a +6 frame advantage. Now if I turn on the punish counter, this move now does 720, so it does 20% more damage, and the +6 became +10, which opens up new combo routes for Chun, right? But what's interesting about punish counters is that they do attack your opponent drive. So for example, this is her like medium punch. This took away about third of Jamie's stock, right? His drive stock, one bar. Medium kick does about the same damage. Crouching medium kick does about the same damage. Forward medium punch. All of them seem to do the same amount of drive damage. So it seems like across the board in general, mediums will do about maybe like 30-35% or so of drive gauge of like one stock of drive. Now with heavies, things get really interesting. This is Chun-Li's heavy punch, does 800 damage, right? This is her crouching heavy punch, does 900, and this is her heavy kick, which does 900 as well. So crouching heavy does 900, standing heavy kick does 900. Now the interesting thing is, if I trigger punish counter state, my crouching heavy punch that did 900 damage now does 1080, but take a look at this, right? This did inflict about 80% or so of one stock, right? So this did about 80% of one stock of bar from Jamie. Now the interesting thing is, her heavy kick, this move does the same damage output, but bam, you land it, and take a look at this, this took away an entire stock. This took away an entire gauge from Jamie. So again, this one, about 80% or so. Let's wait until he refills. Heavy kick, this does the entire drive stock, like one bar is totally gone. Despite the moves, both of them doing the same amount of damage and both of them not triggering a special hit reaction, right? The standing heavy punch, the one that did less damage than the crouching heavy, this now will do like 960 while the crouching heavy does 1080. This also does 80% of drive. So this is telling us that the punish counter and how much damage it does to your opponent drive gauge is not really tied to the damage output of the move, right? Because we got another one, which is her forward heavy kick, right? This did 960. Triggered a special hit reaction, did 960. The crouching heavy punch does more damage at 1080, but actually this one will inflict less damage on the opponent drive. So this one, less damage, more drive damage. Crouching heavy punch does more health damage but less drive damage. And this is where all of this gets really interesting, because if the idea is I want to burn out my opponent, right? I want to do a combo that does the most damage to their drive. Starting with a heavy kick seems a better idea than starting with a heavy punch or a crouching heavy punch. Now one thing that you should take into consideration is which moves are special cancelable. Because for example, Chun-Li's crouching heavy punch, this one is special cancelable, you can combo it into DI, and this could lead to a net more damage to your opponent drive, but you have to know your roots, right? Let's show another character where this could get interesting, because this doesn't stop with, where is he? Yeah, there's DJ. Because this just doesn't stop with normals. This goes kinda deeper than that as well, right? DJ got the same case. We're gonna go through his normals and check them out. This is his heavy punch, does 800 damage. Crouching heavy punch does 800 damage. Standing heavy kick 800. Back heavy kick does 800. So all of them do flat 800 damage. But check this out, right? If I turn on the punish counter state, his standing heavy punch, this, as you see, did about 80% of drive, so kind of similar to Chun-Li's heavy punch. His heavy kick triggers a special hit animation, as you can see, and you can drive rush forward and get the damage and all of that. But the crouching heavy punch, this actually does an entire stock of drive. So if you wanna burn out the opponent with DJ, instead of doing heavy punch into drive impact like that, which did 1.8 or so of drive gauge damage, it is actually more beneficial to go crouching heavy punch, standing heavy punch into DI, right? Because this route, we actually inflicted 2 drive gauges worth of damage on the opponent. So this is very interesting, right? Because this is like the layers of optimization that you want to go through if you want to be super optimal in this game. Because you know, drive economy is Street Fighter 6, right? How you manage this stuff is the game. Now it doesn't stop at moves and the moves that special like normals and moves that special like trigger animation, all of that. Special moves are also different, and again, it's not pure damage. For example, this is DJ's machine gun upper, right? 2.2k. This move is absurd, does insane damage output. If I trigger the punish counter state, this did about like 50% of drive, right? Which is a lot. If we do the hey, this did about also 50% of the opponent's drive gauge. But if I go for the Sobat, oh yeah, this is about 70% or so. And this is relevant because, for example, with DJ, using the Sobats, like for example, and especially like the OD Sobat, you can do this a lot to bait in the neutral, especially like out of drive rush. We see DJ players doing this all the time, right? And what is the move with DJ? When you think of DJ, which move does like special move punish counter the most? I'm gonna let you guess. Which move for DJ punish counter the most? Well, it's this one. And check this out. Sway low does 80% damage to your drive. It does more damage than the up kicks, hey, right? So this lets him combo after, and it does a solid amount of damage to your drive, and obviously like he gets follow-up combos here, right? So this is absolutely a way that Capcom can use and are using to balance out Street Fighter 6. By all evidence here, this appears to be very much a case-by-case basis. Capcom decides which moves do more damage, which moves do less damage to your opponent drive. Now, when we check out command grabs is where all of this will get even more interesting, right? Because just like everyone else, Zangief also gets like punish counter normal throws. And when you do like normal throws that's a punish counter, this does 70% more damage and it inflicts 1 bar of drive, right? So this is his throw loop forward throw, and take a look at this 1 bar and the 240. This is a standard. But Zangief got other grabs. If I go for his forward plus grab, this did more damage, 2.5k. This did 2.5k, but also just did 1 bar worth of damage, right? This just did 1 bar. If I go for the forward throw or the regular throw, which is like got the extended animation, bam, 2.6k, but also just 1 bar. Now the interesting thing is, if I go for an SPD, also the SPD just do 1 bar, despite doing way more damage, right? Despite doing way more damage, the SPD still just does 1 bar of stock worth of damage. Now, the one interesting thing about Zangief is he actually got normals that can do more than 1 gauge. For example, this is his heavy kick. See, this is a launcher, and this did like 1.2 stocks worth of damage. So if the idea is I want to burn out Jamie, going for something this simple is actually a very effective way of inflicting drive damage. This forward heavy kick, this one also does like more than 1. His heavy punch, the one that you see all the time, this does below 1 drive worth of damage. His crouching heavy punch, right, does more than 1, and his sweep, the one that you will land most commonly, just does 1 bar worth of stock. So what I'm trying to say with all of this is very much apparently a case-by-case basis. When it comes to heavies and when it comes to specials and like command grabs and normal throws and all of that, this appears to be a very specific case of balancing by Capcom. So the idea is, let's buff Zangief, let's make Zangief better, maybe make it so that his OD is BD, maybe this should do 1.5 damage off drive, right? Maybe this is a way that you can buff Zangief, because like I showed you with a character like DJ, his special move, like the sway low, it actually does above average damage for regular special. It does more drive damage than machine gun upper, right? And this is an absolute way that Capcom is balancing characters. So I would love to hear your thoughts about all of this. What do you think of the punish counter state in general? What do you think about these findings? Do you think it should be something that is like very systematic, very specific, or just a case-by-case basis? I would love to hear your thoughts about all of this in the comment section below. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter, and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.